Hey everyone, Graham here, your friendly neighborhood points guy, ready to help you squeeze every last drop of value from your miles and points. Let's face it, we all want to travel more for less, right? And for me, it's not just about saving money. It's about unlocking high-end experiences that you can't get with cash. Think fancy lounges, lie flat seats, things that would normally have you refinancing your home just to afford. Today I'm breaking down the simplest ways to get more from your miles and points, so you can experience the kind of travel that would make your past self jealous. Let's dive in. Why use points? Here's the thing, points don't have to be all about luxury travel. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure book. Want to fly business class to Europe? Points can make that happen. Prefer to use points to book 3 round-trip economy flights instead of 1? You can do that too. The beauty of points is that they give you the power and ability to decide how you want to travel, whether it's high-end luxury or maximizing the number of trips you can take. Why go through all the effort of collecting and redeeming miles and points when you could just, pay for your travel like a normal, boring person? Here's the thing. Points unlock experiences that cash just can't justify. We're talking about first-class flights for the price of economy and 5-star hotels where you're treated like royalty. This isn't about clipping coupons for groceries or grinding through flyers to save a couple of bucks at Walmart. Points collecting is a whole different game, which thankfully does not require newspapers or scissors. Pick the right type of points. Alright, first things first, you've got to choose the right type of points. Not all points are created equal. The big thing you want to look out for are variable valuable points, not fixed value ones. Fixed value points are simple. What you see is what you get. Sometimes it's 1 point equals $1 off your flight, but other times it's more like 1,000 points for $1 off. Regardless of the program, you're getting a fixed amount of value for your trip, which means you're not unlocking anything particularly exciting or significant. It's predictable and easy to understand, but if you're chasing real value, this isn't the way to go. I was asked what my 3 favorite fixed value point programs were. Right now I'd say WestJet Dollars, CIBC Aventura, and Scene Plus points. What I focus on are called variable value points. In Canada, the big ones I classify here are Amex membership rewards, Air Canada Aeroplan, and RBC Avion. These points don't have a fixed cash value. They have their own systems that are frankly confusing, but when used strategically, they can unlock insane value. For example, both Amex and RBC allow you to transfer directly to airline loyalty programs, which often have way better redemption schemes than just booking through Amex or RBC themselves. The thing is, they don't make this obvious. You'll be tempted to redeem points for stuff in their own portals. And while that's convenient, I wouldn't do it personally. You're leaving a lot of value on the table. Pick a transfer partner that appeals to you and learn their system. Air Canada Aeroplan, on the other hand, is already its own airline loyalty program, so there's no need to transfer your points over here. It's ready to use for some great redemptions. But here's the cool part. You can also earn Aeroplan points through a variety of banks like TD, CIBC, and Amex. So whether you're transferring your membership rewards points to Aeroplan or earning them straight from your credit card, there's plenty of ways to maximize your points for serious travel value. I collect both of them and pool them together. It's like double dipping in the chips at the airport lounge buffet, except this time, nobody's giving you the side eye. I've got a whole video on my point strategy for 2024, so check that out after this if you want to dive deeper into the types of points I recommend. Transfer your points. Next tip, if you have points that can transfer them to an airline loyalty program, because the airline loyalty program almost always gives you a way better redemption rate than a bank's fixed value system. Let me give you an example with RBC Avion. You can use 35,000 points to fly anywhere in North America with a maximum ticket price of $750. That's cool, right? But here's where it gets interesting. You could also transfer those 35,000 points one-to-one to British Airways Avios. Or if you wait for one of those 1 to 1.3 transfer bonuses, which they do offer about twice a year, you suddenly have over 45,000 Avion points. Now, instead of being limited to one $750 max ticket, you could use British Airways Avios to book multiple flights within the exact same distance range, giving you way more value for your points. Even better, why not use 34,000 Avios to book a lie flat seat from New York to Madrid? It's possible thanks to Avios' generous partnership with Iberia Airlines. I'll share an exact example of how to use Avios effectively later in the video. Avoid high points prices. Dynamic pricing, it is the bane of the existence of every points collector. Some airlines, Air Canada, love to jack up their points prices based on demand. But don't worry, I've got a few tricks up my sleeve for dealing with this. First, travel off-season. Availability is better, and some programs like British Airways Avios will even show you when it's off-season so you can save big on points. Second, book far out or super last minute. It's like a game of chicken with the airlines. Sometimes waiting until the last minute can score you the best deals. Finally, be flexible with your destination and even your departure city. One time, I wanted to go to Japan, but Air Canada dropped a bunch of lie-flat business class seats from Vancouver to Hong Kong for 75,000 Aeroplan points. So guess what? I went to Hong Kong, and if I really wanted to go to Japan, I could have hopped on a cheap cash flight from Hong Kong to Tokyo. Being flexible opens up way more options for you. And that flexibility doesn't just apply to your destination. It works amazingly for your departure city too. When I'm booking a points itinerary, I'm not just searching from my home airport. I'm searching from all the major hub cities in North America. If I find a great deal out of, say, New York, Los Angeles, or even Vancouver, I'll book a cheap cash fare to get there before starting my points journey. This just gives me so many more options, and as a bonus, I'll usually spend a couple of days exploring the city before my big flight. It's like a mini vacation before the real adventure even starts. Book on the most valuable carriers. Now, let's talk about where to get the most bang for your points. Not all airlines are created equal, and some offer way better value than others. I often use Aeroplan points to fly Air Canada. But here's a plot twist, it's actually not the best way to maximize your Aeroplan points. Why? Because they use dynamic pricing for their own Air Canada flights, meaning the number of points required can skyrocket based on demand. So while I love Air Canada, if their dynamic pricing is through the roof, it's time to look elsewhere. Here's where things get really interesting. When you book flights on Aeroplan partner airlines, there's no dynamic pricing. It's a flat rate based on distance and what class of cabin you're in, which makes it so much easier to spot a deal if you can find the availability. Plus, and this is a big plus, you can fly on a more luxurious partner airline for the exact same points as a less luxurious one. That's the beauty of having so many amazing Aeroplan partners. Another great example is British Airways Avios. I wouldn't actually use these British Airways points to book British Airways flights. They slap you with massive fees. Instead, use those points to book on Qatar Airways, Finnair, Iberia, or a bunch of others. Qatar Airways Q Suites is one of the best business class experiences out there, and Iberia offers amazing value for their long-haul flights, while British Airways is charging you insane amounts to just breathe their air. Real-world example that you can take advantage of right now. Let me show you exactly how I get amazing value from a card and how you can do it too. Let's take RBC Avion, for example. Right now, I've got a special referral link on my website that will give you 55,000 Avion points as a welcome bonus on the RBC Avion Visa Infinite card. You get 35,000 points on approval and an additional 20,000 when you meet the minimum spend requirement of $5,000 within 6 months of owning the card. All of this for a $120 annual fee card. Now, if you redeem those 55,000 points directly through RBC's system, you're looking at a flight valued up to around $1,100. But here's the real trick. Wait for a transfer bonus to British Airways Avios that usually comes twice a year. That 55,000 Avion points turns into 71,500 Avios. Combine that with just a little more extra spending to bump up your points total to 75,000, and you have enough Avios for something like Qatar Air Q Suites from North America to Doha, and a first-class connecting flight to Dubai. Flights like this would normally cost well over $10,000 in cash. And yes, I booked exactly this itinerary using this strategy. Just a heads up, Q Suites availability can be very tricky to find, so I recommend booking as far out in advance as possible to secure the seats. I think the value you get from this is absolutely worth the work to find it. So there you have it, the simplest ways to get more from your miles and points. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, give this video a thumbs up.